Welcome to another video, and today we're going to be changing out the strut in my car. Problem we're running into is that it's making a bunch of noise, and fortunately I think it's blown. It's brand new, so let's jump into it. What we have in there are Koni McPherson struts. So these are adjustable, they're one-way adjustables. Quite honestly, they have been amazing. The way that you can dial these in gives you a lot of opportunity, especially on the track. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of time on these. The small time that I have had, it's been very, very good. But unfortunately, daily driving has caused the passenger front side to blow out. Now, how do I know it's blown? It's pretty much anytime I'm driving, it bottoms itself out. Now, I can hear it and I can feel it. When I hit a bump, both will go down, but the driver's side, especially with me sitting on that side, does not bottom out. But you can 100% hear this side bottoming out. So, I had to get some new ones and, just made sure that I was able to kind of get that all nice and figured out. Problem though is that I will have to get a new alignment done. So I'm gonna do my best to try and get it back to where it was prior. But the good thing about this video is that I can show you how to put on the camber plates from ZL1 add-ons. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 in this one. So very excited to be able to finally get it replaced, get a new one on there, take the old one off and see what happened. And a way that I was able to tell if it was broken or it's blown out is I was able to jack the car up and kind of get like a pry bar, put it under, and I was able to push it up and you can hear the click of the actual piston. You can hear it clicking. So it just meant that, and there was some evidence of just oil kind of all over it a little bit, kind of all over the spring. So as unfortunate as it is, we just gotta do what you gotta do. Unfortunately, Koni does not warranty these if it's not on a stock car. That's really weird to me because they should know that if you're buying these, especially adjustables, you might be doing some track days with the car. But in their warranty terms and conditions, it says it has to be on a stock car. Aftermarket suspension work, any track days, it essentially has to be on a stock car. Sucks, but as usual, gotta thank the team at JBA. They were able to get me one. This was the last one that we were able to get without it being back ordered for some time. So I'm actually really excited that I was able to jump on this really quickly. I've been running on this blown shock for some time now, and I just needed to get it done. It's been annoying me. Now I can actually do some track days that we have coming up. I'm gonna be doing Time Attack in May. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the car up, take the wheel off. I'm essentially gonna do all the work to get everything off except taking the camber plate off. That's where I'll show you guys, so I can show you how the plate is put on to the new one and what you need from your stock suspension or your stock strut and spring so you can put on those camber plates. So let's get to it. Here is the old Koni. So as you can see, yeah, there's oil coming out of this thing. I don't know if you guys can see it here, but it's all oily. I've cleaned this off before, and yeah, should not look like that. And another indicator too is if you look inside the boot, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll probably show you once I get this off, but inside the boot, there's oil splashed in it. So now it's just taking this off. It sucks that this died, but things happen, and now we just have to put the new one on and we continue forward. Let me go ahead and just start getting this apart and I can show you guys. But so this is the camber plate. It's really dirty, just because my hood, where it's at, this sits right under it, so it picks up a lot of dirt. And so I'm gonna clean this up before I put this back. Yeah, this is the camber plate. Just one bolt right in the center. Pull that out, this pulls off. And then we take the boot off. We're gonna clean that as well. And then, yeah, I have the spring compressors already here, so that way I can get this off. I already did that part. I'm not gonna film the spring coming off, or this. This is exactly the same thing as if you had a hat of a strut. So it's the same thing. The only difference is lets things pivot around. You can get on that, and then I'll get back to you guys when this is apart. It's all off now, and man, that is dead. So this is the brand new one. So to give you an idea of what it looked like, or what a new one should be. Now I'm putting some body weight into this, you know, comes right back up. This is how a proper shock should be. Comes right back up nice and easy. This one, on the other hand, check this out. Not even coming back up. You have to force it to come back up. So yeah, it was definitely blown out. So yeah, it's a good thing that we're doing that. I'm getting it all switched out. I also believe that rear one might be out too, but I can't tell if it's because this one's bottoming out, that one is doing something weird, though it shouldn't. But here we are, right? I took everything apart. I have the eye box spring there. There is the dust cover, the bump stop, the old little locking ring, that white little ring that goes around it, that's there. And then there is the camber plate. So I'm about to put it all together. Oh, and I forgot that over there is the little perch, or the rubber perch that the spring sits on. So once we're ready to put it all back together, that'll go at the bottom. So I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna clean that up just to make sure that when we put it back in, it's all good to go. Probably throw some lubricant, maybe a little bit of grease in there just to help it kind of turn a little bit better. And then throw some oil. So these camber plates, since they're the prototypes, they do not come with a pre-oiled bearing. I have to actually put oil in the bearing. But if you buy them from ZL1 add-ons, they decided to do a sealed greased bearing in there, so you don't have to worry about it. Because then when you turn it, it starts to kind of bind. The other side was doing that. I put a little bit of oil in there and it fixed it right up. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you guys the differences between the two. I mean, look, the thing is still not fully out. So yeah, I'm surprised that the car even stood back at standard height. It's kind of incredible. Those springs, I guess, are not fully worn out yet. I'm gonna go ahead and just get things cleaned up. Then I'll actually put it all back together, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. The biggest thing that you'll need out of those, out of your old shocks to put these on, is your boot with the little cover that's going to cover the bottom end there, so you don't get any debris, and bump stop, and that's pretty much it. Everything else we were able to kind of get through. I believe because of my struts, I needed to grind this in a bit, but I can't remember. So I don't think you do, because that just sits right on top of there. So I think we're okay. We're gonna put a little bearing on there as well, so it's not riding just on top of that. And so that we're good to go. Let's get it all back together. I got everything nice and cleaned up, and this is how I'm going to kind of do it all. Before there was this little clear piece. So what I had it originally was, we had this piece first. So it was this little plastic piece. Then we had this on it within the boot. Well, the only thing is that this doesn't hook to anything. This is supposed to help stretch the boot and, you know, just keep the dust out of the strut, and that way you don't run into squeaking or any dirt going into the actual piston and into the fluid. But the problem is that because this doesn't sit, this isn't going to keep the dust from getting in there. So I'm going to not put this back in. And so I'm just gonna have the boot sit right on top. I do have a little spacer. John from ZL1 Add-ons gave to me, but if you have a little spacer that you can put in there, I would recommend that as well. So that way this by itself isn't just sitting on the strut itself. So that way you don't get dirt and starts causing a bunch of noise. It just kind of helps keep things, have a little more movement. I have the white little plastic spacer. Then I have the bump stop. Then I have this. Well, then I have that washer, boot. And then I'm gonna put the camber plate right on top. I put the oil in there so that way it'll, you know, not make any noise when I'm driving, and it's nice and smooth of a ride. They also send a locking washer. So that's just gonna sit right on top of that. I'm using the new nut that they sent, and then that'll be on top. Now, of course, I gotta put the springs on, but that's just how it's going to, that's how it's going to sit for you guys to see without the spring on, so you know you don't have any issues of, oh, is this gonna work and this is gonna fit. So right now I'm just kind of twisting it, and this is working, this is moving really easily, so this is nice. So I'm gonna put the spring back on and get this all tightened up and ready to put in the car. I got the car all put back together. I was gonna show you guys what the strut looked like, but to be quite honest, it was no different than what I showed in my previous video. I just wanted to show you kind of how the camber plate worked with the strut and stuff. So I have everything put back together. I do need to get an alignment. So if you do touch any of the suspension in the front end, well, I think in the rear as well, you need to get an alignment done. This is poking out pretty good on this side. So, I mean, once the suspension settles in, it should kind of come back in a little bit since it's still kind of resting on it. Before I ended up doing this, and it's been a few months to be quite honest, but I just wanted to see if I was going crazy or not. And I'm actually kind of glad that I was able to tell that the strut was blown. It sucks. They're not cheap, but not too expensive. But at least knowing that, you know, I was able to tell that it was toast was kind of nice. Now that I can actually feel it in the car, I know now that I can kind of just feel it and know when something's not working correctly, especially when I'm hitting a bump and you can hear the whole thing, ga-goong, and you wonder, like, holy crap, did something just fall off the car? But overall, this was relatively not that hard. I mean, I've done this multiple times, both on this car and on other cars. So in other cars that are McPherson strut suspension, it's all the same thing. A couple components are a little bit different, maybe some washers, maybe boots different, things of that sort, but it's all about the same. So now that the strut is in there, I'm gonna go and just give it a quick test drive, make sure that I don't feel anything weird, and just make sure everything's all nice and tight. I do have access to AllData. If you don't know what AllData is, it is a online platform that a lot of mechanics use to find the specs and how to do the procedures of working on this car, and it tells you how to do pretty much everything. So that way you can have, you know, full control of being able to fix the car. It wasn't too bad. I think it was about $100 for 3 years or something of the sort. So if you're very handy, got multiple cars, or you just want to work on this car, I highly recommend it. You can look up check engine light codes and, you know, just overall torque specs on everything. And I made sure everything was done to torque specs, so that way, you know, we weren't having anything backing off and having any issues. So for right now though, I'm really excited to have it fixed. I just need to go get the alignment done, which I'm gonna have to do anyway for when we go to Lone Pine and we do the time attack. So it doesn't hurt to just get it done anyway. I'll probably wait until after I come back from a trip in a few days. It'll be fine. It's not gonna do anything too crazy as long as I'm not doing too much driving. Good thing is that I won't be. We'll be gone. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of the channel. We're almost there to getting monetized. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I still have a lot more subscribers I need to get. Right now we're at 600. We need to get to 1,000. My watch hours are almost there. We're about 300 watch hours away. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe by the end of the year we'll be able to get that, and you know, we can actually do a couple more things. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting and reaching out. Write down in the comments if you know, you would have done something different, or you know, what suspension setup do you have? What would you recommend? Konis are really well known. I almost went with Bilstein, but Konis were the next best choice. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think. But thank you guys again, and we'll see you on the next one.